Okay, so Kevin Shaw tells us that we're actually live here. We don't know if we believe that, but it does show us that we're streaming live on Facebook. So that's a good thing, and we sincerely apologize for the delay. You could ask the question, how many regional sales guys does it take to get a live webinar going? And I'd say probably like 38 to just go 26 minutes late. But listen, we do want to welcome you to this quick little live webinar. And we're going to be talking about elite and about something we're calling the road to elite. And I'm going to be tossing this over to Doug in just a second to go through some of the details and through a PowerPoint presentation that explains this really, really well. But one of the tasks that we've had as we look at our programs, as our incentive programs, is to look at them and say, okay, do they reward the behavior that we want to reward? Is it driving the right behavior? And is it creating results? And as we look at our elite program, our premier program, and many of the programs we have, we know that they focus on the fundamentals that are essential to creating a sustainable and a rewarding business. Now, we know that not everybody in the company goes for elite, but nevertheless, as you start to pull away or pull apart the fundamentals that are underlying that, I think everyone would agree that these are the things that I want my people doing. In addition to that, we've also had the leadership ladder. And team leader tends to be the fulcrum of that. And of course, we know there's some excitement also about organizational leader and an executive leader. But what we found over the last year or two, that as we've had these programs working with each other, Premier, Elite, and the Leadership Ladder, is that there's been a little bit of confusion. They haven't dovetailed as well as we would like them to. And so what we've worked really hard to do, and worked with many of our coaches, is to put together something that we're calling the Road to Elite. And the real purpose behind this, and this is, if nothing else that I want you to hear, is the intent is to simplify and to align our programs so that if you focus on these fundamental behaviors and on these benchmarks within these different areas, that those are the pieces that will help you build a successful business. And you can also point your new coaches to, and you can also, as a seasoned coach, use these as benchmarks in your business. So again, as Doug goes through this, remember the overarching intent on this is to simplify and align our business with benchmarks that are identifiable, so you can look at those, and also use this as an introduction to our compensation plan through week leg volume. Doug's going to talk a little bit more about that, which is something we've really never talked about before, but we think it's powerful and meaningful to integrate into this. So with that brief introduction, you're going, what's he talking about? I'm going to toss it over to Doug. He's kind of the mastermind of this and worked through a lot of the kinks on it. And although it may not be perfectly perfect, it's I think directionally very, very sound. So Doug, I'll toss it over to you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Okay, we've got some PowerPoint slides I want to walk you through. I love Jeff's setup. I agree. This is, the alignment of several pieces that we've had out there. Now, we all know that we have the compensation plan, and we want to maximize the compensation plan for our coaches. And we build this recognition plan that helps drive compensation. And then we've had this leadership ladder that's kind of this other piece that we know there's some great nuggets there that we're really excited about. But we've been working over the last really 6 months to a year of saying, is there a way to align the leadership ladder into the Elite and Premier program? So what we've come up with, and we're excited to tell you that this is going to launch next year, but there are some pieces that'll come into play for you now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kick off this PowerPoint. 1 second. Okay, you should be seeing my slide. So what we're calling this is we're calling it the Road to Elite. And the reason we're calling it that is we know that not every coach goes for elite every year, but we do believe that to Jeff's point, that the fundamentals of building a business are representative of doing some basic activities. The activities of, selling to customers, retaining customers, signing coaches, helping your coaches get into productivity, getting your coaches to advance in the business. All of those are things that new coaches need to learn how to do and really get good at doing. So the Road to Elite, what we thought we would do is build a program that really aligned behind those fundamentals. And along the road, we were like, man, we've got the Elite system, a recognition program. We've got the leadership ladder system. So I want to put your mind at ease, first of all, and tell you that the Elite program for 2019, so next year, you would earn elite during 2019 to become a 2020 elite coach. So we're talking about January's elite program. Okay, we're not changing anything for this year. This is all about next year. The good news is the elite, as far as becoming an elite coach during 2019, the qualifications are the same with one caveat that I'm going to explain a little bit later. So if you want to be an elite coach at the end of 2019, you have to be a 5-star diamond and you have to hold it 6 consecutive weeks. You also have to get 105 elite points, and you're going to see on this slide, we're going to call them leadership points. So it's 105 balanced leadership points because there is a cap in every category, just like this year's rules. And you do have to produce 2 new personally sponsored diamonds. Just to touch on this briefly, I don't want to take a ton of time here. The point categories are not changing. The APV points, the acquisition personal volume of your personally sponsored coaches and customers for next year, that category is staying exactly the same. And I'm not going to get into that and as to how those are earned. If you want to know, this slide explains it, but we can get into more detail on another slide. The Leadership Success Club points, or the PSSC points, are your personally sponsored coaches from 2018 and then 2019 hitting Success Club, and you hitting Success Club. That category is the same. Same caps apply, 50 and 50 in each of those 2 categories. And then the third category, which we called the PS1 plus SC, this is that category where you get your new coaches started into Success Club activity with 1 or more point, meaning they don't have to hit Success Club. We just get them started within their first full month. That category stays the same. So earning leadership points that were formerly called elite points, the categories are the same. The point requirements for elite are the same. And so now I'm going to get into a little bit more about the road to elite. So we've got this leadership ladder. We love the leadership ladder because it does a couple of things. It's the first time, and it's the only real recognition program that talks about compensation. It says you have to make so much money to be at a certain level. It also talks about leadership development. It talks about having some Success Club activity, but then it brought weak leg volume into the conversation. So the leadership ladder really got people to pay attention to the compensation plan. It was the first time where you would say, man, okay, in order to be a team builder or a team leader, I got to get in a month, I've got to get, 5,000 weak leg volume in order to be a team leader. It was a great milestone. It was something lots of coaches shot for. Well, what we thought is, man, is there a way to take that and now bring it in to the elite program? Well, I'm excited to announce the road to elite. And the way we're going to do this is, you'll remember that we have all these new coaches, and we have coaches who hit Success Club, who start their journey, and who are, maybe we've got coaches in the network right now who are new diamonds that are saying, man, I want to be elite next year. I want to be an elite coach, and I want to earn that recognition. Well, we have a lot of coaches who at the start of every year look at elite and say, man, that is a long ways out there. I don't know that I can get to that goal. We certainly have stories of coaches that attain it in 1 year. Some attain it quicker. But you know what? We're going to build a program so that everybody can have the opportunity to pursue elite, but we're also going to break it down into steps. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build this program. We've already built it to where every year, every coach will start on the road to elite, building towards team builder. They'll then build towards team leader, to premier leader, and then the final destination is an elite leader. Wherever you end the year on the road to elite is what you'll be. You'll be a team leader, 2020 premier leader. There's recognition for each one of these levels. And let me break it down for you to show you what it is. First and foremost, you become a team leader. So how do you become a team leader next year? Well, in January, you're going to have to be a diamond coach or higher and hold it 6 consecutive weeks. You have to earn 25 leadership points, formerly known as elite points, categories I described earlier. You have to build 1 new personally sponsored emerald, and you have to accumulate 1,000 TV on your weak leg cumulative over any 5 weeks consecutive. Okay, so meaning that I could go into a launch or coming out of a launch, as long as I get 1,000 TV on my weak leg, it would meet that requirement. So let me explain this to you too. You guys are leaders. I want you to know the reason that we said you had to hold diamond for 6 consecutive weeks. Well, one of the reasons is because, certainly it helps the star diamonds and everybody wants their diamonds to stay. But one of the things that we found out is when you pull the data, a new diamond that advances to diamond and then bounces in and out of diamond, that 1,000 week leg volume doesn't always accumulate, right? But when diamonds get to diamond and they hold it for 6 weeks, or they fight to hold that rank, generally speaking, more often than not, they end up with the 1,000 TV on their weak leg. So holding the 6 weeks of diamond is important because data shows us that that's the way to get that weak leg volume. Okay, if you achieve the team builder, it's going to be really little on your screen. We're going to ship you out this crystal trophy. It says team builder on it, and it's a crystal trophy. It's heavy, it's glass, like you'll see it when you get it, and you're going to earn this trophy. I want to be clear, every coach will start here. Meaning, I don't care if you're Melanie Mitro, Ashley Molstad, Amy Silverman. Next year, they will all start on the road to elite, and they will become a team builder. They will hold their rank above diamond for 6 weeks, earn their 25 points, 1 new emerald, the 1,000 TV on their weak leg. Bam, they're a team builder. We're shipping them the crystal award that we're actually really excited about. The next level is team leader. Same rules apply, only I've got to be a 1-star diamond. I have to hold it for 6 consecutive weeks. I've got to get to 50 leadership points. Okay, so I've got 25 when I hit team builder. I need 25 more to get to team leader. I have to personally sponsor or build and work with and develop 2 new personal emeralds or 1 new personal diamond. And I need 2,500 TV on my weak leg over, again, any consecutive 5 weeks. If I do that, I become a team leader. We send you the next crystal, which happens to be part of a trophy, and we stack it on top of the first one. So you got your team builder, you got your team leader. If we have coaches in the network, and we think we will, that'll set team leader as the goal for the end of the year. Fantastic. Love to celebrate them. Love to get them, their trophy. And every team leader next year will also get the team leader backpack you've seen around out in the field right now. You'll see coaches with the team leader backpack. If they hit team leader this year, we awarded them with this backpack. Well, every team leader next year that achieves team leader on the road to elite will receive the backpack in addition to the second piece of the trophy. Okay, Premier. This is where there's some changes. So Premier used to be the same elite point requirement, the same 2 diamonds, with a 2-star instead of a 5-star. Well, next year, we're going to make it a step on the way to elite. We're going to change it to where you still have to be a 2-star diamond held 6 consecutive weeks. By the way, or 1 week in December, a paid diamond or paid 2-star 1 week in December. You've got to be up to 75 leadership points. You have to create 1 new diamond in your business, and you have to have 5,000 TV on your weak leg. Okay, so the 5,000 TV is what team leader was on the leadership ladder, but now we're going to bring it in. This is Premier. You want to be a Premier coach? We got to get you to 5,000 TV on that weak leg. We got to get you 1 new diamond this year, 75 leadership points. And let me be clear on this. You're going to see it's capped, meaning that we're going to apply the same caps we apply to elite to Premier. Meaning that in the APV category, the acquisition personal volume, you can get 50 points in that category towards your 75 here. Well, you could get the other 25 could come from a combination of either PSSC or PS1 plus SC. So what happens with Premier is it does make you not be able to retail all your way, completely to Premier. You're going to have to work with your coaches and develop some duplication of leadership within your organization to get other people doing similar activities to what you do. Therefore, we're going to help you get to Premier by you being that leader that not only is out there helping others and building the business, but you're also going to be duplicating leadership within your organization in order to create those 75 leadership points. 2-star diamond held 6 consecutive weeks. You hit Premier, bam, we've got you your 3rd piece of the trophy, goes on top of the trophy. Now you've got your team builder, team leader, and your Premier trophy. Okay, elite. I've already told you that to be an elite coach, the rules didn't change with 1 caveat. You are going to be a 5-star diamond. You're going to hold it 6 consecutive weeks or be paid 1 week in December. You're going to earn 105 elite points. Our leadership points, they are going to be balanced. Same cap supply that applied this year. You're going to build 2 new diamonds, just like you had 2 this year. And you are going to have 5,000 TV on your weak leg. Now, it's not really a change to the elite program, But if we're going to require it for Premier, we're just going to carry that same week leg volume forward into Elite. So if you want to be a Premier coach, you got to get your 5,000. If you do that, that's going to meet the qualification for Elite as well. And I want you to know that when we pulled the data for last year's Elite coaches, 100% of them had 5,000 TV on their weak leg. So although we're going to require it, it wasn't a significant burden on coaches to get that, because the coaches that are doing these fundamental activities and build the 2 diamonds and get to 5-star and get their 105 balanced elite leadership points, generally speaking, we help, they achieve that goal of having the 5,000 TV on their weak leg over a cumulative 5 weeks. So let me be clear on the 5 weeks. It used to be monthly. So you would have, any month you could accumulate this TV. And a lot of coaches who were paying attention would say, well, man, I'm going to wait for a 5-week month in order to achieve levels on the leadership ladder. Well, we're taking that out and we're saying, hey, we're going to give you any 5 weeks consecutive to get each one of these TV requirements. And so let's say if we had the 2B mindset launching again, it could be the 4 weeks going to the launch, and that could be your 5 weeks, or it could be the launch of a product, which gives you a spike in volume, and the 4 weeks after it. So we're going to do any consecutive 5 weeks throughout the course of the year. If you meet that requirement, we're going to give you the check mark. So this kind of gives you the overview look at how the year will line up. Every coach will start out as a coach headed towards Elite on the road to Elite, with the first stop being team builder. Then you will build to team leader, Premier leader, and then an Elite leader. When you become Elite, we got you a trophy. It actually goes on top of the other trophy. And now you've got the entire Elite trophy, and you'll see, Melanie, we've already made yours. And so the top of the trophy is Elite 2020, and that'll be the trophy for coaches to build all the way to Elite next year. One change that we want to mention to you, in the Elite ranking, okay, we have coaches who, when we get to the end of the year and throughout the course of the year, we rank our Elite coaches based on Elite points, now based on leadership points. In previous years, you got 25 points for your personally sponsored coaches advancing to 1-star, to 2-star, to 3-star, to 4-star, or to 5-star. We are going to continue that. Same rules apply. They only apply to Elite ranking, so that's what they are. We used to give 25 Elite ranking points for new personally sponsored team leaders, but we're not going to do that anymore, because if we did that, that would mean that Melanie Mitro would get 25 points for all of her personally sponsored team leaders, which could be a whole bunch of rock star coaches on her team, or Danielle Natoni with, Lori Stewart and Tanya Barron and all those guys get to team leader. She would get all these points. So we're not going to give points for team leaders next year. But what we are going to do is we are going to give you Elite ranking points every time, in addition to personally sponsored new 1-stars, 2-stars, 3-stars, 4-stars, and 5-stars. We're going to give you Elite ranking points for any new success starters that are personally sponsored by you and you create in 2019. Okay. I think it's awesome. I love the Success Starter program. This puts a little more attention on that. And I believe that it'll be the kind of a catalyst for coaches to be able to really kind of get that focus back into that starting of new coaches, which, if you haven't heard, with Kim Carver, he talked about it, leadership, the Success Club system. It's like all these things start to align and everything starts to build on one another. And I think that focusing on Success Starter is going to be key to the business. Now, the questions come up. If I sponsored a coach in October, their first month was November, they hit Success Club, December they hit Success Club, and January they hit Success Club. So technically they hit Success Starter in 2019. Will I get the 25 points? The answer is yes. Any new Success Starters that take place in 2019 will count. So if their first month is December, their second month is January, third month is February, yes, you will get Success Starter Elite ranking points. So that's the new road to Elite. That's the explanation of what we're going to do for next year. I love the concept of bringing the leadership ladder into the road to Elite. I love the concept of bringing weak leg volume into the conversation. I'm interested to get feedback from coaches. Anybody who has questions or comments. I know Kim's been answering your comments on this live. If there's other questions, please reach out. You know, as we go into December, you're going to see that we're going to go live on the Champions page this Friday to explain the Road to Elite. Again, you know, one of the things I'll bring up is you as leaders are going to be focused on, you know, the Success Club system with new coaches, the first 30, those kinds of things. You know, when do you introduce the Road to Elite? Well, you know, as they start to advance to Diamond, as they start to get serious with the business, now you're going to take them to that next level of these fundamental activities you've been learning in the Success Club system really have been helping you as well accumulate points towards Elite and towards these levels within the Road to Elite. We are building an Elite goal guide for another tool that will give you the benchmarks as you go across. You'll be able to fill those out and utilize the Elite goal guide as people advance from one level to the next on the Road to Elite. Guys, I'm excited for next year. I can't wait to, you know, kind of kick this thing off. I think a lot of coaches are excited as well. We've presented it to several leaders. We've got a lot of feedback on it. Again, if you have questions, comments, if you want team calls, the coach development team will be fully trained on it, ready to present in December. I know we're going to be all about Transform 20. I know we've got so much going on. We thought we would kind of jump this in here so that next month we can all be head down Transform 20, understanding that going into January, this is going to be on the table for you to utilize with your teams as well. So thank you guys. Sorry about being delayed on the start of this. But let's finish November. Let's finish out everything we got going on, and then let's go make December just incredible. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.